could be a reasonable attempt. And this is like, oh God, please don't screw this up.
Yeah.
Sir Kenneth Branagh to direct live-action Gargoyles movie.
They could be good if
Right,
yeah.
because this occurred to me while I was on my walk earlier. You know what? They can't do too much to gargoyles.
Make it woke.
Make it woke, because Gargoyles was always woke. Uh, Lexington, secretly gay. Elisa Maza, half black, half Native American. What was the theme of the show? Uh, strangers in a strange land, learning the new ways of a new world.
Yes, and facing discrimination. Yeah.
Yep, facing discrimination and the evils of capitalism in the form of Thanatos,
Oh yeah.
who who is trying to steal their powers.
Yes. Brilliantly voiced by Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, like I remember, like there was actually a time where I didn't really like Star Trek because I had a kind of obnoxious roommate, and we were watching, like, or I was watching the Gargoyles DVDs, and he just tried to make Gargoyles seem like a subset of Star Trek because of all the voice actors. Like, shut up!
Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of Star Trek actors on that
I just want to
were on
enjoy this
there.
on my own.
Yeah. And Ninja points out that Elisa was also into gargoyles. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's pansexualism, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's not really much you can do to wokeify it. Like the only thing you could, because like they're not going. Yeah, as much as we were just joking in the last one, they're not going to have a redheaded Irish woman as Elisa Maza.
Right.
Um, Now, I would say my concern, and I hadn't realized that you had watched it more. You've watched it more recently than I have.
Yeah,
My
I watched it. Yeah, like sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I watched it like about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's better than like the 10 plus when the DVDs came out.
Yeah.
But what occurred to me about this is that I'm not sure what you could do for a movie that would really capture it, because this one was unique on the Disney afternoon.
Yeah.
Because most of the rest of them were like you might have a one or two parter,
Mhm.
like usually at the start of the show to like introduce the premise. Like I
Yeah.
remember Tailspin starting off with like a two-parter semi-movie.
Yeah. So did Ducktales. Yeah.
But Gargoyles would have like whole storylines. It was kind of unique that way, along with like the X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons at the time, where everything was like part of a long saga.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember what was it, season 2 when they had the whole Avalon thing.
Oh God,
That that was like 12 episodes.
was that only 12 episodes? I remember it being so many more.
It may have been more. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, I remember it being really long.
Yeah. So it's like, what story do you tell in the length of a movie? Because you got to cover them being betrayed in Scotland and trapped in stone for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You've got to have Thanatos wake them up, or is it No, Xanatos? Xanatos.
Okay.
I got confused because Thanatos is actually the name of like a Greek or Roman god or something.
Okay.
But you got Xanatos. Xanatos has to wake them up. They have to initially trust Xanatos as they are meeting Elisa. You got to establish that trust. Then you got to have them realize that Xanatos is trying to use them.
Yeah.
That's a lot to cover in 2 hours.
Yeah, they'd have to do that. That would have to be like the first act.
Right. So are they gonna Spider Verse it or Mission Impossible it? Whereas Gargoyles, the movie, part one of two.
Yeah, maybe. Hmm.
But we know like all these movies that, oh, we're gonna save the villain you actually want to see for the sequel.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that rarely seems to work out.
Yeah. Uh,
So it's doable. There or I'm not actually I'm not there. There's probably gonna have to be some narrative changes that take place.
yeah. And if Kenneth Branagh's doing it, it'd probably be like his Thor movie. Have a little bit of that Shakespearean tragedy going on.
Which, considering that half of the characters in the latter half of Gargoyles are just cribbed directly off of Shakespeare
Yeah, yeah,
and Puck from early on, now that I think about it,
yeah.
and Macbeth for that matter.
Yeah.
Theater nerds.
See, yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I guess if I was going to take a stab at turning this into like a reasonably length movie, what you might do is have the initial perspective be Elisa and the stuff in Scotland be like brief flashbacks.
mm. Yeah, they could. Yeah, you could start it off with like, yeah, start off with Eliza, and then her encountering the gargoyles, and them waking up, and then
Hmm.
then like they tell her, their story of their betrayal and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to really like, I don't know. There's a lot of plots that are hard to put into a 2 hour movie. I think this would work better as a TV series, but well,
Mm.
no, it's like, okay, then there's already a TV series.
Yeah.
You don't want a shot for shot remake of that either.
No, no, it's fine the way it is.
So yeah, although with the situation with Disney and Hollywood and everything, I think this has a really decent chance of getting canceled.
Yeah, I think so too. Given the strikes, and then you often hear about projects like this popping up, and like, oh, they're gonna do a live action of this, or they're rebooting that, and then it doesn't
Right.
happen.
Right. And honestly, if I'm a bean counter over at Disney, Gargoyles was successful, but it wasn't. It has a cult following.
Yeah,
That cult following was also kids 20, nearly 30 years ago.
yeah, yeah. And then so you'd be marketing it to 30, 35, 40-year olds.
Basically, us and anyone in our age bracket who has kids to drag along.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
and yeah,
all we've gotten from Gargoyles in recent years are repeated attempts at getting an ongoing comic to happen.
yeah,
And with modern comics being what they are, we're talking like you're lucky if you get 10,000 in sales.
yeah.
Actually, let's see here. Oh, what was the name of that website with had the comic sales estimates?
Omicron.
Comicron. I'm just going to pull this up in a different window. Comicron.
Yeah.
Let's look up. Let's see here. By the way, Comicron has given up because now that we don't have Diamond as the only game in town, uh, really nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. Gargoyles. What do we got here? Okay, so we have the rough estimates. Oh, it's just they don't even. That's right. They gave up on actually trying to figure out real numbers. They just now give like a range.
Oh.
Um, okay. First one that comes up was from like. That's right. There was a comic back in like 2007.
Oh.
Um, da, 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 da. Gargoyles #6 from Slave Labor Comics brought in 5,433 copies
Hmm.
at a time where World War Hulk #5 brought in 145,000.
Ah.
And All
Hmm.
Star Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder brought in 97,000. And that comic was awful. #8 even.
Oof.
People love that Jim Lee art, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, just showing how far the comic industry has slipped since 2007. Nothing in the top 10 is under 91,000 on here.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed.
Jeez.
But back on the topic.
Yeah.
So it's not like the comic has been doing gangbusters and revitalizing the community and making new fans. It's strictly a niche product for the people who still really think about gargoyles on a daily basis.
Yeah. It's I guess the closest comparison would be something like He-Man.
Yeah, yeah, it's like He-Man for people 10 years younger,
Yeah, yeah,
which
because
has
yeah,
just
yeah.
Gargoyles never a $1 billion a year toy brand.
No, and I don't even I vaguely remember the toys when I was a kid.
That's probably part of why Gargoyles never really hit the huge limelight. So they never had the money because they never put too much into the toys. Like there were some toys, but
Yeah, yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't go all in into it like they like a lot of other companies and did with other children's properties.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if this does get made, hopefully Kenneth Branagh does justice to the property.
yep. And with the guy behind the first Thor movie behind it, there's a shot.
Yeah,
So this is when I'm on my optimism meter, with a 0 being the new Snow White and a 10 being what would make me an optimistic to a 10. Um, George Lucas buying back Lucasfilm and promising not to directly write the movies, but to instead supervise them.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Um, I'll give this like a 7 on that meter
yeah,
because there's a chance. And you
yeah,
know what? We have so few chances for good remakes coming out of the House of Mouse these days. Let's hope that that one sneaks through.
yes, indeed. Yeah.